Hello everyone, good morning and good evening to all of you. In the last session or in last lecture, we were discussing how to achieve the loose coupling in Spring based on XML configuration, or how we can achieve the loose coupling using setter and constructor injection based on XML configuration, right? And in the last classes, I start to discuss about these three classes or about this project which I have created here. The project was a Spring XML based configuration, and inside this project we had couple of classes, and there I was discussing about this class which is available here like bike.java, bus.java, traveler.java. So I'm again going to show you this class one more time. So you can see here this is the bike class, and this bike class is dependent on the two bin, not two bin, sorry. So this is the bike class, and this bike class is dependent on the two data member. One is the model and other is the price. And I want to inject this two dependency of this bike based on the setter injection. And because of that reason, even I mentioned here, I want to inject this data member as a set based on the setter injection. And even I want to inject this data member also based on the setter injection. So this class has two dependency. One is the model, other is the price, and both I want to inject the based on setter injection. If you want to inject any of the data member based on the setter injection, make sure you have the setter method in your class. Now you can see here I have the setter method or not. So you can see here I have the setter method for both the data member. Somehow this line I commented. I am going to uncomment this line. So corresponding to above two data member, I have two setter method in my class. One is the set price, other is the set model. So how to create the setter method? So the shortcut is you have to right click, and after right click there is an option. The option is source. You have to come in the option, and here you can see you have option of generate setter and getter. You have to click here, and from here if you want to generate setter and getter both, you have to select all. If not, then select the specific one and you can generate the setter or getter method. Now, similar to this, we have other class, that is a bus class. And here again, this bus class dependent on the two data member. One is bus model, other is the bus mileage. And here, these two data member, I want to inject based on the constructor injection. And if you want to inject the any of the data member based on the constructor injection, make sure you must have the constructor using to that using all of the data member. I mean to say here we have two data member. So I created one constructor based on this two parameter or based on this two argument. So you can see here this is the one constructor, this is the one constructor, and inside this constructor I'm passing two parameters. One is the bus model, other is the bus mileage. So if you have more data member and you want to inject that data member based on the constructor as well, then what you can do, you can pass that variable here as well. Okay. So that time this bus will be this constructor will be three parameterized constructor, not the two parameterized constructor. Now we have the traveler.java, and inside the traveler.java, again this is the one class, and this class somehow dependent on two classes, two other class. One is the bus class, other is the bike class. Or I can say that this traveler has two dependency. One is the bus, other is the bike. So again, like if I'm going to treat this is the data member, so I can say that this traveler is depend on the two data member. One is the bus data member, other is the bike data member. This variable name can be any name. There is no problem with that. But here you can see how I want to inject this dependency. So the first data member dependency, I want to inject based on the setter injection, and the other data dependency, which is related with bike, that I want to inject based on the setter injection. So here I mix both. One data member I can inject based on the setter injection only. The other data member I want to inject based on the constructor itself. So from the rules, I know that if I want to inject based on the setter injection, so we must have the setter method in our class. So you can see here on line number 17, I have the setter method corresponding to the bike. This is the setter method corresponding to the bike data member. If I want to inject based on the constructor injection. So this bus data member I want to inject based on the constructor injection. So even I created one constructor with this parameters. Okay, so this is the constructor with this bus parameter. So this is the constructor here. You can see inside this constructor, I'm not passing the bike argument, or this is the single parameterized constructor, not the double parameterized constructor. Now we have to discuss two more files. One is the lab1.java and other is the spring.xml file. So here, and yeah, sorry, one more thing here, you can see here, I created just one more method inside this class. This is the one more method, and in this method, I just want to print the value, like object value for bus, bike, and somehow from the bus and bike reference, I want to call the method which is available inside the bus class. So this method is available here. Again, inside this method, I just want to print some of the statement. I want to print the price of the model name, and I want to print the price for the bike. Same as other method which I have here. So the other method which I have inside the show method is a bus.showBus. So somehow I'm trying to call the showBus method as well. And inside the showBus method, again, I want to print the message as a bus model name and mileage of the bus. That's it. Now we have two more class, not two more class. I mean to say two more file. One is the lab1.java, other is the spring.xml, and I want to discuss these two as well. So first I will start discussing about the lab1.java, and then I will come to see what is the under the spring.xml. So in case of lab1.java, you can see this is the main class, or this lab1.java has the main method. So inside this class only I have our main method. So this is the public static void main, and after this again I'm printing one line of the message saying that Spring container is ready to start. Now you can see here I have one new interface here. This is the name nothing but this is the nothing but application context. So this is nothing but this is the one of the container in case of Spring framework. So in case of Spring framework, we have more than one kind of container. So we have the bin factory container, we have the application context container. I'm not going to give you the what is the difference between all those, but just assume that this is the advanced container, and this will support annotation as well as XML configuration both. So in the case of Spring, this is nothing but one of the interface, and the responsibility it will play the role of the container in case of Spring framework. So application context is an interface which is going to play the role of a container. And somehow, since this is the interface, there are multiple child classes of this interface. Out of that multiple classes, one class is known as class path XML application context. So make sure if you are using or you want to inject the dependency based on the XML configuration, then we have to create the object, or we have to initialize this reference variable CTX, which is the reference variable of the container application context interface with the child class of class path XML application context. And this class path XML application context has one constructor. They will accept the one parameter, and the parameter type is the string. So from here I'm passing the string data type. Now this name spring.xml name must be matched with this spring.xml. So the name which I mention here, the name spring.xml which I mention here, that should be matched with this name. If this will not match, then you will get the runtime error while running your program. Let me show you. If I run this program, let me do some mistake first, and let me run this program and let me show you. So suppose here I'm going to write the spring2.xml, and I'm going to run this example. So once I run this example, you will get the exception. You will get the exception saying that file not found exception. So you can see here, once I run this program, I got the exception, and it is saying that file not found exception. Why? The spring2.xml cannot be open, or it does not exist. So what is happening here? Once you are running your program, the first step, Spring container is trying to load this file or trying to find out this file. And where they will look for this file? So they will look for this file in our class path. So the default class path is under the src folder. If this file will be available there, then they will try to read the information whatever we have inside this spring2.xml. If this file is not available in our class path, then we'll get the exception saying that file not found exception. Some in our case, this spring2.xml is not available under our src folder, and because of that, we are getting the exception. So let me correct this name and let me run this example again. Now we will not get any exception and we'll get the correct output. From where this output is coming, you will not need to worry. We'll discuss again. But make sure this spring dot the file which you are writing here, or the name which you are writing, uh, here, that name must be matched with what file name I have here. If there will be a mismatch, you will get the runtime error. The other point again, this file must be under the spring.xml file, must be under the src folder. It should not be under our package folder. If it will not be under our src folder, because the src folder is the default class path, again we will get the exception. So if I'll move this file is under this package folder, and now again if I'll try to run the program, you can see here the name I have not done any mistake with the name. Here also the spring.xml and here also the spring.xml. But now this spring.xml is somehow under the package, not under the src folder. And again, if I'll run this program, I will get the similar kind of the exception. So I'm going to run this program again. You can see again you are getting the similar kind of exception or same kind of exception. Even the region are different, but we are getting the same exception. And what is the exception? File not found exception. So always make sure there are two rules. The name, whatever the name I'm passing here for the XML, that name must be matched with the name which I have here. If there will be a mismatch, then we'll get the runtime error saying that file not found exception. The second point which I have to remember, file spring.xml file must be under our src folder. If not under the src folder, you will get the exception. And what exception? Again, you will get the file not found exception. You can see here, now it is under the src folder itself. Now we will not get any exception. And our program is running fine. In the next class, we will discuss about what is under the spring.xml, or in the next lecture, we'll show you how to write the bin definition inside the XML file, and like how, from where this message is getting printed. So we'll see you in the next video or in the next lecture.